What is going on in Calgary with Zayne Parekh? The Flames rookie sensation has yet to suit up for a game for the team this year, and with the home opener starting just mere hours away, it still looks like Parekh will be benched. Why are the Flames doing this? What is going on in Calgary? We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and we have the home opener starting. By the time this video pops up, it'll probably be about a couple hours away from puck drop. Super exciting. You know, obviously it's been a long time since the Flames have played a home game. And yes, they start the season at home against the St. Louis Blues, which is, you know, I guess a little bit of bad blood there, just in the way that, you know, the Flames almost made the playoffs instead of the Blues, tied on points. So that little rivalry towards the end of the season there with the Blues and actually the Wild as well. So it'll be interesting for sure. But a matinee game, this one starts at about 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It'll be a little bit after that, but it's always exciting to see the introductions. We've already seen, you know, the rollout, the red carpet kind of thing that the Flames always do every year, those kind of introductions. Connor Zary coming out in I believe it was a cool Ferrari, is just so much aura. But either way, this one does obviously start around 2 p.m. And the big thing is the projected lineup. So the official ones have not come out yet for this game. And I hope I'm wrong and that Justin Giampietro here is also wrong. But he writes, the St. Louis Blues take on the Calgary Flames at the Scotiabank Saddledome today. Here are the projected expected lineups sourced from NHL.com staff writers and a few other people there. So the sources are there. This isn't, I guess, an official lineup, still projected, but it looks like this. So the forward group hasn't changed. So Gridden, Kadri, Coronato, great line. Sharkey, Frost, Farabee, they were pretty good in the last game. Zary, Backlund, and Coleman sticking together, and then Lomberg, Kirkland, and Klapka. And the defensive pairings also haven't changed. So Hanley with Weegs, Andersson with a ball. Is he going to be healthy? Bean and Braden Pahal, and of course Dustin Wolf starting this one with Devin Cooley as well. And there's one startling, I guess, little thing here, and it goes into this whole video subject. So what is going on with Zayne Parekh? This would be the perfect opportunity to play him. So if we continue, the scratch players, Sammy Honzik, Daniil Miramanov, and Zayne Parekh. Injuries, obviously, to Huberdeau and Pospisil. So the status report is that the Flames did not practice on Friday, so we have no idea what kind of lineup they were going to go for. But Ball is questionable after taking a shot off the back of his helmet in the third period of a 5-1 loss to Vancouver on Thursday. If Ball doesn't play, Parekh, a rookie defenseman, could make his season debut. So we still don't know for sure if Parekh would go in. But the fact that it hasn't been announced and we're only a couple hours away from puck drop would lead you to assume that he is scratched once again. Now, again, I will have to say this is a projected lineup. This is not the official lineup. If he does end up playing, fantastic. You can still watch this video and just say, hey, Parekh did end up coming in. But there's still substance to it whether he does play or not today, which we'll get into in just a few minutes here. So, other sources, fans, I don't know where they're getting it, but one person said, please just play Zayne Parekh. One person said he ain't playing, and it does certainly seem that way. Other people have taken the humorous route, of course. You know, we've seen this pop up on social media in the Flames Reddit and stuff, but it's a, you know, your classic milk carton of a missing person. But here it's, have you seen this prospect? And then got Zayne. As you see on the side there, scratch for game 1, game 2. The power play unit is looking thirsty. They, of course, need, you know, just that extra oomph from the back. They need a true power play quarterback, and Zayne Parekh is exactly that. The Flames have not scored a power play goal yet this season. Their zone entries need more Zayne as well. I know it's quite small. Feel free to pause, zoom in, or just zoom in while it's playing. But taking the humorous route, where is Zayne Parekh? The fan base wants to see him so badly. But the other key thing is there is a reason for this. Why are they doing this? So we know what's going on. He's not playing, but why? That's what we care about, obviously, the most here. And so I'm going to take a look at, I guess, a couple different articles here. So credit for the first one here to Liam Mabley. He writes, what to make of Zayne Parekh's absence from the Flames lineup. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but it sort of explains why this is happening. So, head coach Ryan Huska wasn't asked about Parekh before Calgary's tilt against the Canucks on Thursday night, but he did address it prior to their game in Edmonton on Wednesday. This is what Husk had to say. He said, I think with Zayne, there's a lot of steps along the way, and it's our job is to work with him into being an everyday player, and that sometimes takes time. We want to make sure that whether it's tomorrow night or the next night, he's ready for his opening night game. So this gives him an opportunity to see an environment in a building that's going to be quite a bit different from what he saw last year with us and what he's seen in exhibition so far. We now know, of course, he didn't play against Edmonton, he didn't play against Vancouver, and he's not really slated to play against the Blues today in the home opener, which you would think would be the perfect opportunity to do so. Either way, Parek's absence from the lineup has caused quite a bit of stir within the fan base. So true. Some believe in ripping the Band-Aid off and getting him out there, while others are inclined to trust the process. Works for some teams, doesn't work for others. As we know, the team that really has, I guess, coined that phrase the most was the Philadelphia 76ers. Didn't work. Do you want to trust the process? Not too sure. Huska and management are opting to hold him out as a way of easing him in, but there is the possibility that dragging out his debut could put even more of a microscope on him when he eventually does get into the lineup, which is so true. I love that point right there a lot. Now, looking at it from a different lens, how do you walk the line of prioritizing player development while also trying to field the best possible team on a nightly basis? Though Parek's game is still flawed at the age of 19, it's difficult to make the case that Jake Bean should be in the lineup over him. I would say Parekh might be better than all of our defensemen in certain ways. Kevin Ball, easily the best defensive defenseman, but otherwise, don't know. Also, considering how the power play has faltered through 2 games, it's hard to believe it could be any worse with the addition of Parekh. Absolutely true once again. Now, emphasizing player development over short-term success is wise for a rebuilding team, but what exactly that looks like obviously varies depending on who you're talking to. There is an exception that Parekh will get into the lineup sooner rather than later, especially after Kevin Ball was injured on Thursday night against the Canucks. And still, the fact that we have not been given any sort of update on Kevin Ball or Zayne Parekh would again lead you to believe Ball is going to be playing, Parekh isn't. A lot of people hope I'm wrong. A lot of people hope both Ball and Parekh are playing, which would be an ideal scenario, preferably on the same defensive pairing. But again, the fact that we have not been updated yet, again, it's just a couple hours before puck drop, it's looking unlikely that Parekh is playing. But there's still the argument of how much he's going to play. So to take it even further, the Win column came out with this article this morning. I'm not going to go into it at all, but the title kind of says it all. So it says, "We all want to see Zayne Parekh thrive in the NHL, which is why it might make sense for the Flames to follow the Ducks' handling of Leo Carlsson." And so at the bottom there says why it makes sense for the Flames to be patient with Zayne Parekh. Essentially what the Ducks did with Leo Carlsson is he's highly touted prospect, of course. They drafted him, second, third overall, something like that. And they really eased him in, played such a protected role with him. He played about 2/3 of the games. A lot of people think Parekh won't exactly reach that many games this year if they do decide to take the, protected role, but kind of going in for, more of the home games, maybe against easier competition, that kind of thing. It makes sense why they didn't play Parekh for the first couple games, but for today, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be playing. And again, he might play today, and this might all be for naught, but you can still discuss, obviously, how much he should play this year, whether he plays today, the next game, whatever else. Do you want to see him in a protected role, or would you rather just rip that Band-Aid off and have him develop in the NHL? That's obviously the best way to get experience, but if the Flames do want to ensure that, everyone is at their strongest, there's no one with, huge holes in their game, then you want to ice the strongest lineup. I get it, but Zayne Parekh is kind of generational in a way. He's, tying Bobby Orr's records. He's not that bad of a player. So either way, we know kind of what's going on in Calgary, or at least we know why it's going on, but when will Zayne Parekh make his debut? Hopefully, it's in a couple hours from now. Most likely, it won't be, but of course, we will just have to wait and see. Now, let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. It comes from yesterday's video, of course. Kind of goes with, I guess, the goaltending and just overall team performance. Wheel of Time here, they say, like basically every game this season, I will never blame Wolf. I'm sorry his save percentage is suffering, obviously based off that Canucks game, but for the Flames' inability to shoot a puck. That's why, obviously the Flames spend more time in their zone. Wolf has to do a little bit more because the Flames really just don't have any offensive threat right now, and it was so evident throughout, honestly, the first 2 games of the season. We kind of got some lucky goals against Edmonton, to be honest, but it is true. It will almost never be Wolf's fault, the reason that the Flames lose a game or even give up a goal in a lot of circumstances as well. So hopefully that can continue, and hopefully Wolf's confidence, doesn't go down or anything, even if he is giving up more goals this year than last year. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.